proud of my team, and I thought we put up a heck of a fight, and we just needed a break. We needed the ball to bounce our way down the stretch, and we didn't get that. And you know, sometimes in this game, you got to be good, and you got to put yourself in position to have success, and then you got to have the ball bounce your way, and we just didn't have that today. But it was not from a lack of effort from our team. I think they would be the first to tell you that they'd like to go back and play that first 20 minutes over because we were not as focused as we could have been or should have been, which gave us quite the hole to dig out of. But again, this team showed a lot of fight, a lot of pride in their school, a lot of pride in their team, a lot of pride in each other.
Let's take questions for either Marquisha or Aurielle.
Ladies, will you talk a little bit about having played them and beaten them before? Was that, did it give you some confidence even though you were struggling at halftime and down at halftime?
Go ahead. Being that we played them already, I mean, a team is a team. We just have to stick together and follow the game plan. When the buzzer hits 0, whoever is at the top is at the top. They're just a regular team. All teams in the MAC are really good, and we struggled the first half, and I gave them a pep talk at the halftime, and we came out and we stuck together as a team and as a family, as we should have the first half.
Marquisha, can you add to that?
Yeah. We definitely knew that it was possible because we did it once before for beating them. But we know you can't overlook any team, no matter who they are. And, you know, again, like Ari said, you know, it's just the first half that, you know, we dug ourselves a hole. But, you know, we came back with the pride and the passion, and we persevered in the end to come back. And hopefully we should have got that win, I feel.
Ladies, for either one or both of you, if you would, your confidence seemed to rise noticeably as the game went on. As the second half went on, will you talk a little bit about that confidence rising in the second half?
I just think it was always there. We just had a little, like Coach said, turmoil, like in the first half, but the pep talk I gave at halftime was like, we on this boat together and we sinking, so I can't swim, so somebody got to pick me up when we down. So everybody was just like, all right, we got this together, and the swag just came up on 1,000. So.
Let me interrupt for a second, Marquisha. That wasn't the level you delivered the halftime pep talk, was it?
Nah, but I was in it though. I was a little stronger, you know.
Marquisha, will you talk a little bit about, was there a point where it became, maybe we could do this too, we definitely can do this, come back and beat?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when we were talking in the locker room at halftime, you know, we talked about what we had to do. We knew what we needed to do to come back in the game. And as much as we had to fix so many things, like our defense stepped up tremendously. They didn't score until after 10 minutes into the first half, I believe.
Second half.
But yeah, second half. So it was, you know, the defense and the fact that, yeah, the confidence, you know, everyone was in it together. We knew we had each other's back. And, you know, when it comes out to that, you know, just give it your all. Your teammate's going to be there to pick you up when you're down.
Any other questions for our student athletes? Ladies, we'll get back to the locker room. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
I want that stat sheet.
Questions for Coach Clipfell?
Coach, can you talk a little bit about what was the focus at the halftime? They talked about some fixes in your eyes. What were the biggest fixes?
Yeah, it was real simple. We had to fix ourselves because we were bickering with each other about things that were going wrong, which is something that's kind of held us back a little bit all year long. And we kind of went through spurts where I thought we were through that completely, and this one, it reared its head a little bit today in the first half. So that bothered us, but tactically our biggest issue was ball screen defense. We were not sticking to the game plan that we had come into the game with in the first 20 minutes. So once we convinced them that that was the best thing to do, things got much better for us on the defensive side of the ball, and we started scoring a little bit, which always makes you play a little bit better defense as well.
Will you talk a little bit? I would think that having
Yeah, yeah, that clearly was in our minds, and I'm telling you, I really felt like in Bowling, and I'm not taking anything away from Bowling Green. They're a storied program. They're a good team this year. We just match up pretty well with them, and we really felt like coming in that if we could negate their offensive rebounding, which we were able to do in comparison to the first time we played them, and be efficient and effective and consistent with our ball screen defense, that we weren't getting in situations where we were broken down, and you saw that we gave up a couple unguarded layups because we didn't rotate completely. You know, we could have made them work a lot harder for baskets in the first half. Maybe the hole was 10 instead of 20 or whatever it was, and you know the game could go a different way.
In the late going, the people that stepped up for them were Stein and Justin.
Yeah.
You know, if you ran through a list of players, they wouldn't be at the top of that list. Will you talk a little bit about those kids stepping up and making some plays at least to keep them afloat?
Sure, they did, and they did a good job of running Stein off that diagonal back screen and getting her open on the block coming to the lane because we weren't jumping to the ball as well as we should have. And Justinger, I would disagree and say I wouldn't think of her name coming up. She's had a great freshman year. She's a very complete player, very competitive. Didn't play very good at our place, and we kind of expected that she might have a step up or play a much better game than she did the first time around. But yeah, if we could have just clean that up defensively. I felt like they scored. Our goal was to try and make them score outside the lane down the stretch, especially in that last 10 minutes. And, you know, they kind of got us on that post coming off that back screen too many times.
Could you give us your vision of that your last possession, what you saw?
The 4 seconds, yeah. I mean, she goes 100 miles an hour. I mean, I felt like if she would have got by that last defender, she would have got potentially even an in-close shot, but definitely would have got a good look at the basket because once she got around her, they couldn't have stepped up to help or they would have presented something on the backside. So I guess in hindsight, I wish we would have got her coming up the other way with her right hand, just for simple reason of that being her dominant hand. But, you know, we just lost control of it there, and you know, we didn't get that shot. The bigger play to me was the one coming out of the timeout we didn't execute. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, they did a great job of defending Corey. We were trying to get the ball to Corey off a down screen from the post so we could have a post isolation and a Corey isolation, both two good options of that, as well as Henson having the shot, having her as a shooter in the weak side corner. But they blanketed Corey. We couldn't get it to her, and then Ari picked the ball up there, which presented a problem for us. We didn't have anywhere to pass it at that point. But just good defense.
How different was that last possession to the last possession that you were playing? Similar play, possession?
Similar in that we were trying to put it in Corey's hands, but much different in terms of, yeah, the actual part of it. So, yeah.
In the back of the room.
Can you talk a little bit about Miracle West team, how she performed today?
Yeah, I mean, she's a tough kid. I thought she struggled early on, and sometimes she gets down on herself, and she started to go down that road a little bit today, but then she responded really, really well. What we had to remind her of was to slow down, and that's where she really improved her game throughout the year, was when she was able to catch the ball, let some cutting action happen, and then allow her to make a post move from there. And early on, she wasn't being successful because she was trying to do it all too fast. So I think the difference you saw in the first half to the second half was just pace for her. Yeah.
Coach, what?
Yep.
Did you get an explanation what that officials' discussion was? You were already inbound the ball with, I don't know, 10 seconds left or something, and all of a sudden there was the official discussion, so there was some timeout of sorts. They gave BGSU a chance to put full court press on.
Yeah, good point. You said it though, not I. But no, they didn't explain anything to us. I think all they were trying to determine was if the clock was in the right situation.
Last question,
But I didn't get explanation, no.
Coach, despite the losing record and the loss today, do you consider your first season as head coach a successful one?
Well, we lost too many games, but I do think we were successful in the fact that we laid a foundation for the program for the future. We wanted, one of the things that we were really, really working hard to try and get to was this experience here in being in Cleveland, so that we now know what we didn't know before in terms of the players on that team. And I mean, it's as simple as, I mean, Bowling Green probably has a favorite restaurant that they have standing reservations for. You know, we had to get in the yellow pages and find a restaurant to go to. So just that's a simple analogy of now we've been here, done that. Each year, hopefully, progressively, we can do better and better on the win side.
Thank you, Shane.
Yep.
Appreciate it.